Ooh, I just love Pokemon. I love you guys. I love Pokemon. Pokemon is so great. I love the inclusivity of it. I love there is so much about Pokemon that we can enjoy, whether you're a collector or a competitive player or you're a business owner or a reseller, investor, whatever you might be. Pokemon is just so great. It fits for everybody, no matter what you're going through in life. And I've had a lot of people who have reached out to me and they've talked to me about selling off their collection, or they've talked to me about things that are going on in life. Pokemon is just always there. Pokemon has always been there. I have gone through some really tough times in life, and Pokemon has just always been that one constant thing that I've been able to rely on, that I've been able to count on, and that's why Pokemon just makes me so happy. I get so excited talking about it, enjoying it. I really love it. It really is such a good thing. But we have a giveaway that we have to do. So on it was supposed to be Sunday. It was supposed to be New Year's Eve that I announced this give, or that I opened up a alternate art Giratina, which didn't end up happening. Spoiler alert if you didn't watch the video. But we promised we would give away all the hits. There's so many hits. That we would give away all the hits. This is all the hits from that channel, or from that video, as well as a few extra things that Angel's Awesome Adventures chipped in as well, like this PSA graded 9 Giratina V-Star from Crown Zenith. So there's a ton of cards in here. Unfortunately, no alternate art Giratina, typical, but it is what it is. But I want to announce the winner right now. So congratulations to KP-HH5SM. KP-HH5SM. You are the winner of this just giant stack, plus all the bulk. You get all the bulk too. It's still sitting here unsorted, so have fun with that. All I need you to do is just message me your details. You can find me on Instagram at danny.phantump. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at danny__o, or you can just email me, dannyphantumpcontent@gmail.com. I just need your mailing information. I just need you to verify your YouTube channel, and boom, we're all set to go. We're going to talk today about the best performing Pokemon cards in the market. I've been getting some comments, not bad comments by any means, just good comments. Like, it's good feedback. Everything is good feedback. I love you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing with the comments that you give me. I absolutely adore everything about all of you guys. You guys are fantastic. But people who are talking about, hey, Danny, you're focusing a lot on the negative side of things. You're focusing a lot on cards crashing or prices going down. And the truth be told is I am focusing a lot on that, because that's the market right now. The market is a lot of Pokemon cards are just not in a good spot right now. A lot of Pokemon cards are going down. The good thing is that eventually they stop and then they start going up, because Pokemon is so cyclical. But at the same time, the videos, and I'm sorry if I come across negative. I am never ever negative, so don't ever think that I'm negative. I am one of the most positive people all the time. I am happy. I'm very go-lucky. I'm glass half full Fanny all the time. I really think that price crashes and prices falling, like, it's not a bad thing, and I don't think we should ever be panicked or ever be scared about where the market is going or anything. Pokemon has been around for a very long time. Like, we are looking at 27 years. Like, there is no sign that Pokemon is going to slow down for the next 27 years. I have a very strong feeling that Pokemon is going to continue being in a very strong state for a long time in the future. So never should those keywords or anything like that freak you out or make you panic or anything like that. Those are not negative words, so don't take them as negative words. They are very positive words in different lights, right? Like, if you are talking about price crashes or you are talking about prices falling, you have to look at those as opportunities. Those are great opportunities for a buyer's market. Now, not all the time are you going to have money to put into Pokemon. Money might be a little tight, but that doesn't mean that that's always going to be the case, right? Like, I have been in the situation before where money has been really tight, and unfortunately I had to sell off my collection multiple times, or I wasn't able to pull the trigger on pieces of the collection that I would really like to add, and that happens, but there's going to be other dips. There's going to be times when prices fall. There's going to be times when prices crash, and that's okay. That is more than okay. That's a very positive thing to look at. So don't think about it ever as a negative thing or Fanny's turning negative or anything like that. I am never going to be negative when it comes to Pokemon. I'm always going to be very positive. But you can let me know in the comment section down below what you think. I'm not going to keep rambling on about it, but I want to talk about the best performing cards in the market right now, because there are a lot of good cards over the last few months that have performed extremely well. So we're going to highlight those in this video, keep things super positive, and I'm going to flip you guys around so you can see exactly what we're talking about. We're going to start out with this beauty right here, the Dragonite V. So we opened up a booster box of Evolving Skies recently on the channel. We opened one up on Christmas Eve, and this is the card that we pulled. We didn't pull a whole lot of good stuff, but we did pull this Dragonite V, and it has been climbing very, very well over the past 3 months. So if you remember, a lot of alternate arts, really a lot of alternate arts, we're going to talk about them on Sunday as well, have really trended in the downward direction, and pretty much all of them. And Dragonite V was no exception. For the majority of the summer, it did fall down quite a bit. This was over $100 card at one point in time, but then faltered extremely hard. You can see it dropped all the way down to $87.99. That was its low point that it hit at the beginning of October, right around October 7th. And after that, things started climbing a little bit. Now, it didn't shoot up overnight. It did start climbing up gradually. And there's a big factor in this video right here that I do want to highlight right away. And that's this 11/21 time frame right there, right around Thanksgiving time. Because if you remember, on Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, a few days after Thanksgiving, TCG Player offered this huge kickback deal to everything that was available on their website, up to a certain amount per card. So you could go on and you could buy something like a Dragonite V, and then you would get 10% cash back, or I think it was 10%, but it would be a kickback that you would be able to get, and then a bonus amount if you were a subscriber on TCG Player. So a lot of cards did see a little bit of a blip on that time frame, that Black Friday, that Cyber Monday, that time frame right there. Now, a lot of cards have not recovered and they've continued to go downward. However, some of these cards see that larger increase, like what we're seeing with this Dragonite V here, and then continued to climb after that. So this Dragonite V doing extremely well, sitting just off of its 3-month high. So it was hit $97.72. You might say, hey, Fanny, that's not a huge amount, but it is a big amount. If you think about things, it's over 10% growth in less than 3 months. That's a huge return on pretty much anything. Any investment where you get 10% return over the course of 3 months is extremely large. Now, it's not a huge amount monetarily. You're only looking at about a $10 gain over the past 3 months. But if you're investing large amounts at a time and seeing 10% returns over the span of 3 months, that's very, very strong. It's currently sitting at $97.20, which is just off of its 3-month high, but definitely trending in the upward direction, which is very, very positive. Here's the Charizard VMAX right here, and this one's been relatively flat now ever since the beginning of November. It did see, again, that little bit of a blip right around 11/21 where it jumped up to that 3-month high of $85.94, and then it cooled off a little bit, but it has been trending upwards again. If we look at the low for this one was down to $66.28. So this is the one from Champion's Path. This is the big boy, the full art Charizard VMAX, or Shining Fates, I should say. Sorry, Shining Fates. The big boy Charizard VMAX. It has done extremely well over the past few months. If you're looking at that time, that $66, and we start talking about percentages, that $66 low, you're looking at about 25% that it's gained over the past couple of months, which is a very, very strong growth pattern, sitting at $80.97 right now. So not too far off of its 3-month high of $85.94. But again, starting to trend in that upward direction. There have been a lot of Charizards that are doing extremely well, including this Rainbow Rare from Champion's Path right here. Again, relatively flat for October, really the majority of October, and then again started trending upward at the beginning of November. You can see its low point at the end of October there of 153.77, and then at the beginning of November, so before that Black Friday deal happened, it already started trending in the upward direction until it hit that Black Friday mark and then shot upwards even more. Backed off a little bit right there around Christmas, so it hit that 3-month high of 196.60, backed off a little bit, and now it's trending in the upward direction again, sitting at 189.56, so about $36 above where it was 3 months ago. So again, that's about 20% that it's grown over the past 3 months, which is an extremely strong growth. Radiant Greninja is another one that has done really well. Not huge numbers monetarily, but as far as percentage wise goes, Radiant Greninja doing extremely well. Now, a lot of that is just because of its competitive play. This is not a huge collector card by any means. Obviously, we know Radiant cards are much easier to pull. However, if you have a card like this lying around in your bulk and you look at the price point, well, right now it's sitting at a 3-month high. It's $5.70. Name a card in Sword and Shield, in the entire era of Sword and Shield, or really Scarlet and Violet, that is a full art, a trainer gallery card, an illustration rare that might be something that you're looking for, not an alternate art. I mean, this could get a couple alternate arts, but a full art or a trainer gallery or an illustration rare that you're looking at that's worth $5-6, you can do an even trade. That's why I recommend going to those local leagues, going to a league that's near you. A lot of people are going to want copies of Radiant Greninja that they can throw in their deck, and as long as this card remains in rotation, it's going to be a very, very playable card because of that concealed card's ability. So trending in the upward direction ever since the beginning of October. You can see it was sitting at a $2.76 3-month low and has been trending in the upward direction pretty much the entire time. Now, this wasn't a card that saw a big upswing around Black Friday because it's been the competitive force force that's really been pushing it in the upward direction. So it's been consistent growth over the past 3 months, sitting at $5.70 currently, and again, trending upward. Leafeon VMAX, there's a few alternate arts that are doing really well. Leafeon VMAX is one of those alternate arts. Again, you see a big push right around that Black Friday deal, but it was already trending in the upward direction prior to that. So you can see some big growth right around October 7th when we started this graph. 144.63 is where it was sitting for its 3-month low and started gaining ground right away. It jumped up to about 168, 169 before backing off a little bit prior to Thanksgiving, and then shot up again thanks to that deal, but continued to carry on throughout December. And you can see it's leveled off a little bit, but starting to trend upwards again, sitting at 172.43 right now, which is just off of its 3-month high of 174.54. And that 174.55 high mark that it's at, that's pretty much its high point that it's been at ever since release. So Leafeon VMAX, one of those VMAXs, one of those alternate arts that is kind of defying what's going on with the rest of the alternate arts right now, doing extremely well. Here's the Charizard V-Star Rainbow Rare from Brilliant Stars. This one really interesting, very flat from October all the way up to Thanksgiving, and then we saw that big push right around Thanksgiving, right? It hit that 3-month low of $47.82, but if you look at the trend, it continued to just basically kick butt ever since Thanksgiving up until now. It continues to climb. It's just off of its 3-month high, so it hit its 3-month high right around Christmas time. It hit $67.56, and it's lost only about $1 of that. It's sitting at $66.63, but if you look at where it started right around Thanksgiving at $47.82, and you look at the percentage-wise how much it's grown, I mean, you're looking at over 30% that it's grown in the span of basically a month and a half. So a Charizard V-Star Rainbow Rare did get extremely cheap, and a lot of people might be thinking, okay, well, is it really only worth $45, or is this a time now where Brilliant Stars is starting to go out of print a little bit more? It's a little bit more harder to come by, especially in collection boxes and things like that, so not a whole lot of people are going to be cracking open a lot of Charizard V-Star Rainbow Rares and just continuing to trend in the upward direction. Here's another card that we were talking about earlier, like Radiant Greninja. This is the Squawkabilly EX with its Squawk and Seize ability. It does extremely well in competitive play. That's why it's performing so well. Again, a regular art that's only worth about $5 to $6, but again, there's a lot of full arts, a lot of higher rarity cards, gold cards, rainbow cards that are worth $5 to $6 that are much more difficult to pull throughout the Sword and Shield era, and then also in the Scarlet and Violet era. It makes you think, okay, well, maybe if you can trade in a regular art EX, you might be able to go to a local game store and be like, hey, I'll give you this Squawkabilly EX and I'll trade it for your Rainbow Rare Beauty or your Rainbow Rare Iscan or your Rainbow Rare Kamado or whatever card you might be missing from one of your master sets that you want to collect. And a Rainbow Rare for a regular art seems like a really good deal any day of the week, but sitting at $5.68 currently, a little bit off of its 3-month high of $6.65. But again, as long as this card remains in rotation, which it will for a very long time, this card is going to be very playable. It's way above its 3-month low, which it hit on October 22nd, basically a bulk pricing of $2. If we look at the Mew Gold card from Celebrations, this one's a little bit interesting too, because it's really the only one from Celebrations that's performing extremely well. That Charizard has actually gone backwards quite a bit. This was at a 3-month low on October 22nd of $23.16, and it's been trending upward really ever since then. So we did get that little bit of a bump on Thanksgiving, but it's continuing to trend in the upward direction. Now, right before Christmas, it hit that 3-month high of $31.51, but it's only lost about 50 cents since then, so it's still sitting at $30.98 and continuing to trend in that upward direction. And if you look at where it started, at that $23.16 mark, it's gone up again 35% over the past 3 months, which is extremely strong. Here's the Gold Ultra Ball. This is from Brilliant Stars, I believe. It's Brilliant Stars, I think. But this one started out in October of $20.91. Now, there's been 3 gold printings of Ultra Balls, and if you look at the past performance, Ultra Ball is a card that's pretty much always in format and always does extremely well. So we had an Ultra Ball printing that was a gold card at the beginning of Sun and Moon, and then we had one in the Plasma set during Black and White. Those Plasma Ultra Balls are extremely popular, very, very strong, hard to find in good condition, but Ultra Ball has always been one of those cards that's basically a staple. It's a 4 of in every deck. So if you're somebody who is going to play competitive and you want to bling out your deck, a lot of times you're going to be using these gold Ultra Balls right here. But at the beginning of October, $20.91. Again, not huge monetary growth, but you're still looking at about 20% over the course of 3 months. It hit that $25.53 mark right around December 6th or 7th. It's backed off a little bit, but still sitting at $24.87 currently. Here's another alternate art, this one from Evolving Skies as well. Espeon V has performed extremely well over the past couple months. Again, a nice bump right around Thanksgiving, but continued to trend upwards after that, which is a really good sign, a really strong sign for the market. $55.14 was its 3-month low, which it hit at the beginning of November. Saw some nice growth up until Thanksgiving and then jumped up a lot more. Hit that 3-month high of $69.86 right around Christmas time. This is one you want to continue to watch though, because it has been trending downward over the past week or so. It's only lost a couple of dollars, but you might see it drop back down right around that $58, $60 mark, somewhere around there. It's sitting at $67.84 right now, but definitely one to watch in the near future. Here's a Glaceon VMAX from Evolving Skies. This card has been doing extremely well. Look at where the bump happens though. Right around Thanksgiving again, you saw some massive gains after that. So it was trending downward up until Thanksgiving, where it hit that 136.44 3-month low and then jumped up over 10% after that. So it jumped up right around Christmas time is where it hit that 3-month high of 149.70. It's only lost a little bit right now, but again, one that you want to be leery about moving forward because that bump could have been provided solely by that Black Friday deal, that Cyber Monday deal, and it could be a little bit of a false market right now. We'll see what happens over the next few months, but definitely one to keep an eye on. The Origin form Palkia V, this one from Astro Radiance, another alternate art that has done really well. Started its transcendence right around Halloween time, actually. It was at $21.98. It's gained about 30-40% over the past couple months, jumped all the way up to $29.69 right around Christmas time. It's backed off a little bit, still sitting at $28.73, so still very strong growth over the past few months. And I think this is the last one right here, and this one's really interesting. This is the Gengar VMAX, and we talked about this recently. We talked about how Gengar is just one of those Pokemon that always does well. This is one that just sells really well for shops. It sells really well on Amazon because Gengar is such a popular Pokemon. I actually do think there's a couple more yet after this one. But Gengar has grown and will continue to climb. If you look at just basic Gengar EXs in the past, they have done extremely well throughout the years. This card was sitting at a $5.08 3-month low at the beginning of October, started jumping up, came back down, and then really started climbing at the beginning of November and just hasn't slowed down since then. This is not a hugely played card, not extremely competitive. The artwork on it is something people really enjoy. Obviously, the pull rates for the alternate art are a little bit tougher. It's sitting at a 3-month high right now of $9.40 and continuing to trend in the upward direction. Here's Arvin. This one has been really impacted by competitive play, which is why it is starting to go down a little bit right now. I would definitely recommend, if you have a full art Arvin and you want to offload it or you're looking to move it and trade it for a couple other pieces, now might be the time to do it before it drops even further. But at the beginning of October, this was sitting at $5.19, but because of its competitive playability, jumped up like crazy, jumped all the way up to $12.31 right around November 21st there. It backed off a little bit, level out a little bit. Now it's sitting at $9.24, but still closer to its 3-month high than its 3-month low. And I believe this is the last one that we're going to look at. Definitely a card to keep an eye on in the future because of the artwork. Not a whole lot of VMAXs do extremely well because pull rates on them are fairly decent. Look at the one from Darkness Ablaze, for example, the Charizard VMAX. It's obviously a very popular card, but the price point just continues to fall on it. This Snorlax VMAX, a lot of people really enjoy the artwork of it. You've got this big land just basically chilling on Snorlax's belly. Awesome looking card. October 22nd, this card was sitting at $9.77. It's gained about 30% ever since then, sitting at a 3-month high right now of $12.53. Obviously, Sword and Shield, not a set that's going to be cracked a lot. A lot of people aren't looking to open Sword and Shield packs. You don't see a whole lot of them out and about. Booster boxes have gotten extremely expensive, and this is a card art that a lot of people are going to enjoy for a very long time. So this card continuing to trend in the upward direction. That's the last one that I wanted to talk about. There's not a whole lot of cards that are really moving extremely well. We'll continue finding them. We'll continue talking about them, but we are going to continue talking also about the opportunities that are out there. And I hope you guys enjoy that. I just want to keep it 100 with you guys. Keep it completely honest. I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, do all those things. You guys are amazing. You know what to do. I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. I'll be back on Sunday with another video. Until next time, peace.